dissing this administration of Obama, and, by fiat, me, because I was a part of the first, Obama administration, well, now you're dissing our democracy. Washington Times, folks. Hillary Rodham Clinton said earlier today that while skepticism of government is part of our DNA as Americans, people who openly diss the government are effectively dissing our democracy. When people diss the government, we're really dissing ourselves and dissing our democracy, she told supporters in Iowa City. This is my last rodeo, and I believe that we can leave not just the country in good shape for the future, but we can get a deep bench of young people to decide that they want to go into politics. Because, hey, after all, those of you who don't diss this government, you'll have a place to rule in this government. Not govern, but to rule. Because, otherwise you're dissing yourself, you're dissing your government, you're dissing your country, you're dissing your ma and your pa and your grandpappy and your grandmammy and your favorite Aunt Bernice. Doesn't everybody have an Aunt Bernice somewhere? I think so. If everybody's got an Aunt Bernice. Even if you don't know, where she is, I'm sure I've got an Aunt Bernice somewhere, or at least had. It just seems like, the normal thing. Everybody should have an Aunt Bernice. Aunt Bernice. You have a Florida judge saying that you cannot try to discredit or state your opinion about the judiciary down in Florida. And if you do, you're going to be arrested and possibly charged with who knows what kind of crime charges. They could pile them up for all he cares. Any other charge is necessary to get you to shut up and throw your butt in jail. And now we have Clinton out there on the campaign trail talking about that if a woman who said you have a right to disagree with any administration, now telling you that if you diss this government, you're dissing your government. And that's not a good thing. I can't make this stuff up, folks. If you do not think that my predictions have a chance in hell of coming true, then you tell me what's going to happen. Become a prestidigitator and tell me what's going to happen. Be clairvoyant yourself. Tell us all what's going to happen. If my predictions, which keep coming true, about the state and status of the United States of America is not going to come true if we keep going down this road, then you tell me through your clairvoyance what is going to be the state of America in 4, 8, 12 years. What are we going to look like in the year 2020 and 2030? If we keep going down this road, I'm afraid when we get to the next intersection in 2020, it is not going to be a pretty intersection. It's going to be an intersection that you don't like. I mean, here's... Look, again, I don't have anything, and I guess if I say this, I'm probably, dissing somebody somewhere, but, oh well, too bad, live with it. But we have, the Army has just announced that they're going to cut 40,000 troops over the next 2 years. I mean, another 40,000 troops. We're going to shrink our military even more. We're in the middle of trying to figure out how to fight ISIS and ISIL. We have the Russians who are strafing our borders. We have the Chinese that are building up tremendously their military capabilities and building military islands out of nothing in the middle of the South China Sea. And we're talking about shrinking our military even more to the tune of cutting 40,000 troops over the next 2 years. And all this while the United States Air Force allows rainbow-striped U.S. flag on an Air Force base. I again ask you, do we deserve the government that our founders left us, or do we deserve something far worse? Hey, Russian nuclear-capable bombers were cruising the California-Alaska coastlines on July 4th. They weren't invited. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up to this stuff. We're having our airspace, our sovereignty invaded left and right, whether it's on the ground or in the air. Whether it's by illegal immigrants, it's by combatants, it's by terrorists, or it's by countries that do not like us. But hey, Donald Trump is the bad guy for saying the truth, right? For spelling out the truth. He should act more presidential now. He's got to be more polished, really. I say the people that have the most to lose should probably have a shot at running our government. Now think about it. The Donald has a real estate empire for himself and his family. He's got a lot to lose if this country goes south. A lot. I think he'd want to protect it and save it and keep it. Much like the industrialists of the Industrial Revolution age, the late 19th and early 20th centuries. People like Mellon and Carnegie and Vanderbilt and those people. They had a lot to lose. I'm sure they would, they'd come around to wanting to promote a constitutional, positive government. And they'd be dumping on Hillary. They'd be dissing Hillary for her stupid statement. Speaking of stupid statements, the White House blames Republicans for the deported San Francisco killer. Look, folks, I can't make this stuff up. I don't have that kind of imagination. Hollywood can't make this stuff up. You remember the movie Wag the Dog? Well, it was based on real life stuff from the Clinton administration. Even Hollywood can't make this kind of stuff up. If Hollywood comes up with something that seems to be really out there, you've got to understand they've gotten it from real life somewhere. They can't make this stuff up either. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest is blaming Republicans after an illegal immigrant who was reportedly deported 5 times was charged with murder in California. Yeah. Yep. When asked by reporters about critics of President Obama's immigration enforcement policies, Ernest insisted that it was actually Republicans who were at fault for voting against the Gang of 8 bill last year, pointing out that it contained funding to increase. Look, how many times have we've actually not only increased funding for border security, we've also included funding to build the damn fence and wall down there, and it hasn't been built. And not only it does no good to put more Border Patrol agents on the border when they can't do their job. They have rules of engagement, and they're being shot at. But no, you can't shoot back at them yet. And when they do, an illegal immigrant gets killed, and the Border Patrol agent goes to jail. I don't need to. What kind of crazy nonsense is this? Again, this is stuff you can't make. I'm sure there are other countries across the planet that are looking over at the United States and scratching their heads, thinking, "Wait a minute, let me see if I get this straight. You have an open border, but you have ability, money, and technology to build fence and wall, to keep out undesirables, but you do not do it. Okay, but maybe you don't want to make countryside look ugly with fence like, Berlin Wall. We get that. Okay, fine. But you put more border patrol people, on your border to stop illegal immigrants from crossing border. And they come across border and they shoot at your agents who are trying to protect border. And agents shoot back at people, illegal, criminal, who shoot at border agent. Border agent kill or injure illegal person coming across illegally into your country illegally. Border agent who your government put there on the border to protect the border. Your border agent go to jail. We're a laughing stock. Do you think that if you were to illegally cross at least half of the world's borders, that you would actually get a chance to live to tell about it? If they caught you? They would shoot you on sight, Jack. Including Mexico. I mean, this is, and you don't get a do-over or a second chance. If they catch you, you live and you survive, they'll throw your butt in jail. And if you survive jail, they'll put you off at the border, say, start walking, you turn around, you die. I mean, look, that's the Mexican way. Again, you can look it up yourself. I'm not making it up. I mean, I don't. It's almost to the point where I can't take the stupidity, the ultra sheer stupidity. I'm not even talking ignorance, because ignorance you can treat. Ignorance is treatable with education, but stupidity is not. This is just sheer stupidity. Plain and simple. I mean, it is so stupid, it borders on mental retardation. It really does. And I stopped short of calling it mental retardation because that would be an affront and a diss, if you will, to those who really are mentally disabled. Because they don't have a choice and they can't help it that they are the way they are. But see, the sheer stupid, they can help how they are. And they would rather not smarten up. They'd rather remain stupid. I mean, Ron White, one of my favorite comedians, he says it best. You can't fix stupid. You certainly, it seems that is true. Look, it's you keep voting for these people that keep taking away your rights and keep throwing their hands around your throat and squeezing while taking money out of your pocket on a daily basis if you don't spend it the way they want you to spend it. And you say to me that this person, Donald Trump, he's not acting presidential. All the while, everybody who has ever acted presidential has let you down, has screwed you over, has stolen your money, and you want to tell me that Donald Trump needs to act more presidential. No, I say that all of those politicians need to act more like Donald Trump. Because I don't think Donald Trump is going to have his hand in my pocket. No way, no how. I don't think Donald Trump is going to, I think he'd do a lot more to protect this country and save this country than any other candidate right now running for president. Yeah, there I said it. I'm stopping short of endorsing him, but I think right now he might be our best hope.